Hey, it's Jennifer Nguyen, and you're listening to the podcast by Matter.
Hey, how's everyone doing today? It is Thursday, March 22nd, and I tell you what, it's been a great week for me. This being my birthday week, I've had a fabulous amount of shows I've done this week, and I cannot tell you what a fabulous show I got lined up for you today. I can't think of a better way to spend my birthday eve with my guest today, who is a TV host, actress, entertainer. She's the host for Taste Made Live. Please welcome to the show the multi-talented Kanika Lal. How are we doing?
First of all, I feel so honored that I get to be with you before your birthday. I saw that it was your birthday tomorrow, and I'm like, oh, I
Oh,
must
thank you.
wish him. So happy early birthday.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you for that.
Of
And
course,
and,
let's
and
get
thank.
everything you
And,
wish.
oh yeah, thank you for being on. I mean, it's usually I cover other facets of the industry, sports and whatnot. So, when I came across you on live stream and just seeing just how multi talented you were, it was like this is going to be a good show if I could get her booked on. So thank you for being on.
Of course,
Uh,
my pleasure.
Now you were born and raised in Maryland, and you went to Boston College,
Actually, I went to Boston University.
Boston University. Okay.
BC is I guess you could say is a BU rival, even though I never cared
Uh,
about the rivalry. But yeah, BU is where I went.
okay. Now me being well, pretty much born in Northern California, um, me being Hispanic, during the time when I was growing up, there wasn't in my area too many Hispanic families. It was like maybe two. So you being Indian, was it the same type of situation over there where you were at, or was it a little bit different?
I mean, to be honest, I never felt um sort of like that Indian girl. Maybe a couple times people would always like make me feel that way, but for the most part, I was so immersed into the Indian culture growing up. Like my mom put me in Indian dance. I watched movies. We had a lot of Indian friends,
Mm-hmm.
and like my parents had Indian friends, and they had children. So I always had a good balance between my Indian girlfriends, guy friends, with also like non-Indians, just people I went to school with. And like schooling and community was always very diverse. I mean, I grew up in Maryland, and then I moved three different houses in Maryland along the Maryland area. Some of them are predominantly like I'd have to say like Jewish areas or like predominantly Caucasian people. But at the same time, I never felt any prejudice until like later on for some reason. It kind of hit later on where there was like more of that. I know we're getting into this like heavy topic, and that we may not ask me for that reason, but just thinking about it, like people always say like they felt such prejudice when I guess I'm lucky to feel like I never had that
Okay.
until later, until maybe like media got heavily involved with that, and then everybody's thoughts and actions were being influenced.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just the reason I was asking that, like I said, it was just because of me when I grew up in the area where I'm at. Like I said, there weren't too many Hispanic families, so it was like there was myself. There was one other family, and then this other family, and that was pretty much it, Hispanic wise. There weren't too many like Mexican station music wise you could listen to, if at
Mm,
all. And so just growing up in there, it was kind of difficult because you wanted to stick with your heritage, but there was really nothing around you to support that other than the two families. So
yeah,
it
in a
was
way, it's
different.
kind of like you have to just for families right now who are going through that, it's like still stay like be so proud of your culture, like make it known that you guys are there and that you're not going anywhere, and even if it's just two of you, like freaking show that pride and make it seem like there's a lot of you. So I
Exactly.
understand kind of like how you feel, but I think it's like now that is the time to just like shout where you're from.
Right, right. Now, you being on the East Coast, and then when you moved to the West Coast, was it like culture shock? I mean, being Boston, snow, 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 and then coming to LA and it's just sunny and 75 usually.
Yeah, it's interesting. I guess I never felt the shock. I just felt more of that like transition into like I would say the shock just wasn't because of the East Coast, West Coast. I would say it's because I was alone. like obviously the weather is a fact. I'm not gonna lie. Like Maryland was a lot of gloominess and seasons, change of seasons. Boston mostly was cold except for the summer. But it was nice to see that change of seasons because as the seasons were changing, I was transforming. I
Hmm.
got to the West Coast and it was like such a like it was heaven on earth because every single day you woke up and you walked outside and you were just like you didn't have to worry about wind or any precipitation. You just like it was like a beautiful, I don't know. It's a beautiful feeling to be in the sun almost, like all the time. I never get sick of it. Still today, I never get sick of it. But I guess the shock came in the fact that like I came out here all by myself
Hmm.
in a whole new industry, right out of college. Luckily, I mean, I've made friends and I have some family who are my support factors. But for the most part, it was like, all right, like I'm just gonna navigate my life now. The time that I need the most support when you're out of college, ironically, is when I didn't, and I think that's what the shock value was because I really had to learn to be my own person, and that's the shock. It's like, who is Kanika? Now I figure that out. Now,
Right.
so I guess you could say it's more like a growth factor rather than anything else.
Okay.
But the West Coast is LA is weird. Like it's a good weird though because I don't know, makes it just keeps you on your toes and you're meeting all types of people.
Yeah.
But it's totally weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, what did you study when you were at Boston College? And then what it?
Boston University.
Oh,
Don't
excuse me,
keep
Boston
mixing it
University.
up
I
because BU kids are gonna be like, "Rah."
Sorry
I know,
about
but it's
that.
easy to say that. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah. What
We'll
did you
just say
study there?
BU. I studied broadcast journalism.
Okay. And
So
then
obviously, what you're doing with me right now is what I do with everybody else. I interview people like a lot of the time.
that's good. That's good. And that's another thing where I usually when we were talking beforehand, I tend to get a little bit nervous before a show, because I don't
Mm,
I just um I guess I'm kind of learning, I guess hopefully I'll get a degree from the University of Trial and Error by doing
right.
this, so
Yeah,
you
that's
know
kind of the best. I mean, obviously, kids go to school, but it's another way of educating yourself is just like being thrown into the fire and trying it on.
Yeah, yeah. Because like I said, I still do it, but I was photography. I've done that for about 16 years, and when they ask me, where'd you go to school, and that's pretty much what I tell them, the University of Trial and Error, and that's just where I learned it from.
That's witty. Don't make sure nobody steals that.
Exact,
Copyright that.
exactly. So, what is when you came out here? What plan did you actually have coming out here? What was your main goal to accomplish?
Um, I would say I got an internship actually after college, so I guess I was starting with that. I was like, all right, I have something that I'm in the industry. So I wrote for the Hollywood Reporter as an intern, and that at the time I didn't even realize how big of a magazine that is. It is huge. Like it is one of the top industry leading publications that celebrities trust. Um, so I was like, just I hustled like crazy. I tried to like showcasing my worth and my credit and my value. So I was there for 3 months, and then I moved back home actually. And then I was like, great, now what? I don't have a job or anything. So, but there's something like calling me, like LA. I felt like was bringing me in, and I didn't know until somebody actually told me. It was like, hey, I have this opportunity. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll take that. But then I was like, you know what, mom and dad, I'm just gonna go to LA for 2 weeks and just like see if I can find a job. So I went for 2 weeks in the fall of 2013, and I met with everybody I could possibly.
Mm-hmm.
And the one person suggested just like reaching back out to my internship and seeing if they're hiring. So I reached back out. Luckily, at that time, they happened to have a small opening. And I was like, oh my God, okay, I'll do it. It was like a 3 month, I think it was 3 month or 6 month contract. I was like, all right, I'm moving. So I packed my bags and moved here in November, and I started that small position, which was just like typical like data work, but that data work turned into me being like, all right, I want to cover the red carpets. I want to be doing more. So I did more, and I finally was living the dream of being that entertainment reporter
Uh huh.
as I wanted to be. Like I've always wanted to be that Juliana Rancic, Ryan Seacrest.
Right.
But then the more I was here and I was working for different TV stations, I would say digital stations, I realized, okay, the industry is changing. My dreams are changing a little bit. In fact, they're expanding. So I feel like after 4 years today, my plan is not concrete still. It's always changing. It's always maneuvering. I have an idea of where I want to be and who I want to be, but it changes a lot. And I'm luckily the flexible person to adapt to that, but sometimes you get excruciating. So kind of, they're still kind of changing out. And like I still know who I want to be and where I want to be, but because of the industry changing so much,
Right.
it's a little bit, it's always going to be, my plans are always changing, I feel.
Okay. Now, that job that you were talking about, was that the Hollywood Reporter, or did that come out afterwards?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Oh no, just like on my notes here that you were working for the Hollywood Reporter and covering the Golden Globes.
Oh yeah, I worked for the Hollywood Reporter and I covered I did a story on the Golden Globes for them. But I did a lot of red carpets, to be honest, like movie premieres and press junkets, random events that celebrities go to, and I just I report on it, I talk to cool musicians or artists, and then I write the story. And I've gotten to talk to some really cool people, like John Mayer. He like complimented my hair. I was like, oh, okay, I'll take that. And then like Anderson Cooper, I spoke to him over the phone. Some really like prominent people. I'll never forget that experience.
Right. Now I saw on your I think it was your website, you had a picture with a pretty famous football player, NFL player. He's retired now, Peyton Manning.
Oh, did I put that on my website?
I believe it was your website. I thought it was your website, or I've seen it somewhere. I think
You definitely probably saw it somewhere. I don't remember putting it on my website. That was like years ago. That's when I was in high school
Okay, yeah, it was one of
or
you.
middle school.
There was one of you and Peyton, and then one of you and that
I've
actor.
met Denzel, but I didn't. That was just like by chance.
Okay, because
An
it was
actor? Which one?
the one that was he plays. He's on the Bold and the Beautiful right now. Oh, I forget
Oh,
what
I
his name
must
is.
have met him.
Pardon?
I said I must have met him. Maybe I'm forgetting.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the actor. I couldn't think of him offhand, but now you also with all the multi-talented stuff that you have going on, you also do stand up as well, stand up comedy.
Yeah, I've done one stand-up show. To be honest, I haven't done many.
Okay, how did that go for you?
To be honest, it went really well. Everybody, like, I mean, they seemed to gravitate towards me. People came up to me afterwards and said it was great. But I don't know. I guess I don't know if I was comfortable with what I was talking about. So afterwards, I was like, all right, I want to just kind of like find my own voice the next time I go up. But I never went up. And that's something that I'm kind of struggling with in my mind, whether I want to do it. And I think I should try a couple more times. Like, why not? But that's the one thing I'm fearful about, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But I want to do it because I think I have like a knack for it.
All right, cool, good to hear. And, you know, kind of like we were talking, you know, before we started the show, you know, I need to get myself up there and start actually live streaming, video wise, and eventually here in about a couple weeks I'm going to start doing that, but with my show where I'm actually going to record it, the video part where you'll be able to see the guest and me interact with each other live on video.
Yeah.
So
I think that'd be a smart tactic.
yeah, that's going to be a fun adventure and kind of nerve-wracking, but it's going to be exciting as well too. So
Yeah, I mean, the more you do it, the more practice you get, the more you'll fix what you don't like, love what you do like, and then continue with that. It's
Right.
all, like you said, trial and error.
yeah, exactly. Now, you being an actor, if you could do a movie with any actor from the past, who would you choose and why?
From the past, meaning
Just, you know, any older actors, you know, or, you know, who may not be around, or, you know, from 70s, 60s, 80s, you know.
oh, interesting.
If you could do a movie with one of them, with someone from the past, who would you choose and why?
From the It's a good question. God, Robin Williams.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know how we would be shown together on screen.
What
I
what
know he's
move
not from
what
the
what
60s
yeah
or
what
70s,
movie would you want to
but
redo with him?
no, it has to be. Or, I mean, if I was a kid, it would obviously be Step Up. But I'd want to do like an original movie.
Right. Okay.
I hate, not to say like I hate the kind of question, but I hate putting myself in that position where, oh, I could do this movie that was already made. No, that movie was made. That's a golden masterpiece. Whatever was made and put
Mm-hmm.
out. And I wouldn't want to tamper with that, but I'd want something to be made originally just with somebody else.
Okay.
And to be honest, like I'd love to do something with DiCaprio. But it's funny because people ask me like your favorite movie and stuff. And the first thing that comes to mind are not Hollywood movies. Like maybe because growing up, I never saw many Americans on in Hollywood films, and to me that wasn't a big deal until now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe that was a big deal because I never imagined myself to share the screen with these characters who are so like I hate to say it, but they're like white. Like, because when you see that growing up, it's just like, oh, that's when you made it. That's the thing. That's the it thing. And I hate that. Finally, we're having conversations where it's like, no, 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 no. So we're finally morphing into that.
Mm-hmm.
But I always looked up to Bollywood actors because they looked like me, they talked like me, they acted like me. So I resonated with them. So for any Indian American listeners out there right now, there should be, because I'm representing you guys. Bollywood films are something I always wanted to be in. So, actors like Shah Rukh Khan, still love to do a movie with him. Actresses like Kajol, Anya Mukherjee, they're the in my eyes. I guess because maybe I resonate with them a little bit more than I did with other Hollywood actors.
Okay.
Like I resonated with like more kid actors, like That's So Raven and One World because they were my age.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, when you asked me this question, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna say like Audrey Hepburn because I never had a connection with her.
Right.
So,
Right. Understand that.
yeah.
Now, me being like we were discussing earlier at my job, I work during the summertime. I work with a lot of Punjabi people.
Punjabi, yeah.
Yes, and they know that I'm into wrestling, the professional wrestling, and every summer it's like they all gather around me and they want to talk about Jinder Mahal, who's a WWE wrestler, and I guess he's really, really famous. He went to, they did a show over there in India, and I guess they had like 70,000 people waiting for him at the airport.
Wow. Yeah, I think he was born in Canada.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know much about him.
Yeah, and it's just like, I just think it's pretty cool because they know I like wrestling, and it's just like I'll get like 20 people around me, and because they want to discuss him and talk about him, and so that part every time I go to work, I enjoy that part of it. Talking to everybody about wrestling and just other things in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now, I just remembered the pictures I seen. I think they were on your YouTube, because I'm going to bring up right now about the commercials and the stand-up reel, Wells Fargo and the Chevy commercials. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. Sorry, which one?
The commercials for the Wells Fargo and the Chevy.
Yeah, they were great. They were a lot of fun.
Yeah, because I seen the Chevy one, and it's like, what? I seen that commercial on TV.
Oh, you've seen it on TV, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, wow, okay. I got really excited. It's like, oh, wow, okay.
Yeah,
I recognize that commercial.
Chevrolet commercials. They make a bunch of those. They produce a lot of videos. It was cool to be involved with one of them, and a couple of people were like, "Oh, I saw you in that." I was like, "Cool."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was watching. I was like, I know that commercial. Okay, yeah, that's where I recognize the person from. Okay, now, if I was to buy you some ice cream, would you want vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, or something else?
Something else.
Okay, what flavor?
I changed my flavors a lot. So, Kanikainla has this amazing blackberry Belgian chocolate vanilla flavor. So it's like blackberry smoothie vanilla and Belgian chocolate pieces. It's just it's so fancy tasting. It's amazing. I love it. And now you're making me want it, and I'm trying to be on this diet. So F you. Ben and Jerry's has amazing. I love their cookies, milky cookies, but they also have this new one which is dairy free.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? It was like something with caramel, which I don't usually like. Um, what else did it have in it? But simply, I guess my type of flavors I love is like I love vanilla and chocolate mixed in
Okay.
with maybe some, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. God, anything that just speaks to my soul. I
Okay.
want to look up to Ben at the time. But usually, like chocolate chip cookie dough, cookies and cream, those are usually go-tos. And anything with Oreos. I'm trying to find this caramel dairy-free. Once I find it online.
Right. Okay. Now
But
what?
the Haagen-Dazs one, take note.
Okay. All right. Now
Oh,
what?
it was a caramel almond. I think that was.
Caramel almond. Okay. All right. Okay.
And I wouldn't usually like that, but it was like salted caramel with some vanilla almond brittle. Ugh. I have such a sweet tooth.
All right. Now, what type of TV shows or movies would you do or watch on your off time?
Would I watch or do?
Well, what do you like watching? During your
Watching?
Yeah.
Oh my god. So many, like always, because there's so much content out there.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I don't watch TV. I just watch Netflix. Which
Okay.
It's obviously still TV, but it's crazy how like I don't turn on cable anymore. But anyways, I was watching This Is Us, Jane the Virgin.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm watching this new Netflix series called On the Block,
Mm-hmm.
and it's showcasing a very interesting part of like a neighborhood of Los Angeles. Kids who grow up there and smart kids, and they have like a friend who is involved with this gang, and they want him out of it, but it's like pokey and funny. Great character actors. So it's an interesting storyline. And then what else? I love Narcos. I love Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
Dark on Netflix is pretty cool. Black Mirror.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
I have to watch.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Those are some. I've seen the shows.
Movies, the last movie I saw was Three Billboards. I really need to see um, Shape of Water.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Love, Simon was good too. I want to see that.
Okay. Now, have you seen the big hype one? What is it? The Black Panther?
I haven't. I heard mixed stuff, which is interesting. But
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I just if
I want to see it. I'd be
yeah. Yeah. I mean, unless it's a movie I like, I watch the previews and I want to go see it. I'll go watch it, spend whatever, $10, $12, whatever it is to get in to, watch it. But otherwise, I'll just wait for it to come out on, HBO or Showtime or whatever it is.
Right.
Or buy it on demand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is there
That's what I like, or like any illegal websites. I did know of a couple of illegal websites. But,
yeah, I've seen a few of those.
I shouldn't say that.
That's okay.
Now they're all gone, unfortunately. But...
Yeah. Okay. Well, when the show's over, we'll kind of talk about that, and I'll help.
We'll send each other the links.
Yeah, I'll help you out. Okay. Now, before we kind of close this out, is there anything else you'd like to cover or talk about or bring up before we kind of wind it down?
No, I think if it wasn't brought up, then that should be fine.
Okay. No, I mean, if there was something that like I might have missed or whatever you want to bring up to promote, by all means, feel free to do it.
I don't know. I mean, I hate saying that, like promoting. I'm sorry, just because like I do this all the time. Like,
Yeah. No, there's no problem.
if anybody's interested in hearing more about me, they know where they can find me. If you want to plug my social media and stuff, that's totally fine. But yeah, I think if people are interested, the conversation could be continued after this.
Okay. And then what I'll do when I post this on YouTube, I'll put a link to your website. That way
Cool.
they can check it out, and if they want to know more about you and learn a little
I would
more
just
about
say
you.
just link to my Instagram.
Pardon?
I would just say link to my Instagram.
Okay. All right. We'll do that too. For
Yeah.
sure. Okay. No problem. It was okay. Is there anything you'd like to say to your fans and the listeners before you leave?
Yeah, because I do have a couple of fans now, and people who are loyal to me, and
Good.
it's nice of you. I want you guys to know that if you're in it for the long haul and you want to see how I grow and how we can grow together and take over day by day, then stick with me, and I promise we can help each other out.
That's right. And then when you win the Oscar or the Golden Globe for something, just remember us in the speech.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Hopefully, there's like a new type of award out there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thank you for being on. I do appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. All right, guys. Hey, man, that was it. That was our guest today, Kanika La. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. You guys can always find us, of course, on YouTube, the podcast by Mata, and you will be able to find us on Twitter, Podcast Joe. And of course, for you guys wanting to get in contact, learn more about my guest, I will put the link to her Instagram in the description on the YouTube. So, all right, guys. Hey, I want to thank you guys for listening, and have a good day.